Hello, you're watching NEWSPIRIT TV. I'm Alexis Constantinou and I'm here with Emma Sue Prince, author of The Advantage, 7 Soft Skills. Author of The Advantage, Emma Sue Prince, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
It's lovely to see you again.
It's good to see you too, Alexis.
So tell me, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, it's interesting really because I didn't have a book that was waiting to come out. The opportunity arose through my consultancy work where the publisher approached me and asked if I could put together a team to write a book that redefined soft skills. And I did put together a team, but for one reason or another this didn't work out, and I was then left with this opportunity to write a book with not having had the intention to write one, but there was such a close connection with the work that I do that I decided that I would go for it, and that's how I started writing the book. And as I began writing it, I realised that actually there was a very strong link with everything that I do, everything I believe in, and the book almost wrote itself.
Because you're not traditionally an author, you provide training for managers, right?
Well, no, I work with trainers and teachers who are delivering employability, soft skills, that kind of training. So I've worked all over the world in that capacity, working with practitioners. And because of this work, I developed my website, which supports teachers and trainers. And there's a strong link between employability and soft skills. And so that was why I was then approached to put this book together.
So can you tell me a little bit more about the 7 soft skills?
Yes. These traditionally soft skills are often referred to as things like working well as a team or being a good leader. These skills look more at inner resources and competencies that each of us have. So they're things like adaptability, empathy, optimism, resilience, these kinds of skills or competencies, traits. And I think now, with all the uncertainty that there is in the world and in the economy, there's a real need for us to be stronger in ourselves so that we can cope well, so that we can do the work that we want to do, that we need to do, and so that we can actually handle the uncertainty that's around us.
Congratulations on getting into the top 10 with The Advantage. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
How has the response been?
Well, the book's only been out for a couple of months, and so far it's had positive reviews. There is a website that goes with the book where people can sign up for daily tips. And I mean, the focus of the book is about becoming more self-aware and developing these skills more on a day-to-day basis. So I'm developing training products that go with the book, but it's not like you can go on a course and then you suddenly have these skills. It's actually something that you have to focus on more in the day-to-day.
And what's the website?
The website is theadvantage.info.
Okay, that's great. I know that you do other things besides write and train people. You run the Godalming Community Gospel Choir. How did you set that up?
Well, I was singing with a gospel choir in London. Then I moved to Godalming and I missed singing. So I thought I would try and set up a choir locally. And I started off with a couple of very simple workshops. And discovered that there was a real need for singing in Godalming, although it has to be said Surrey and Godalming is an area where there's a lot of quite traditional choral music and a lot of choirs, but nothing like a gospel choir. And I think what's unique about the choir is that it is very much focused on community. We have about 100 members from
It's a lot.
Yes, all walks of life. So people from very well-off backgrounds, people from quite different backgrounds, different faiths, different singing ability. We have no auditions. People don't have to be able to read music, but we are an amazing, fantastic, vibrant gospel choir.
So I know that you bake cakes. Tell me what you enjoy about doing that.
Well, there are some selfish reasons for baking. One is that I just enjoy being able to put together ingredients, be very precise about it, get the temperature right of the oven, the right amount of ingredients. You have to be like that for baking. And I know that I can create something amazing, and it's quite predictable. It will happen. The other reason I bake is because I'm much more of a big picture person, and what baking does is it helps me to focus on the detail, because you have to be very, very precise. So actually, by baking, I'm developing the skill of focusing on detail.
So baking actually helps you develop these skills?
Yes, these skills can be developed in very, very simple ways, and I might come back to that if I may. After I finish talking about baking. But the other reason for baking is because, quite simply, people just love it when you bake a cake. I think I'm always amazed at how much pleasure something so simple can give, and I think it's because there's a lot of nurturing in baking. I also believe strongly that you need to have the special ingredient of love when you bake, and that needs to be there. And you can just give a lot of pleasure, and it's just a very loving, wonderful thing to do.
Do you have a website for your cakes?
I don't,
Okay.
because although I do have a little business with the cakes, it's all centered around Christmas. So I've actually got a Facebook page which is about traditional Christmas cakes.
What's it called?
It's called Emma Sue's Traditional Christmas Cakes.
Great. So how does something like baking help in developing the 7 soft skills?
Well, as I said before, the soft skills is all about self-awareness. Okay, so I believe that there are quite simple ways that you can develop that self-awareness. Baking is something, because it's a skill and because it's about detail. If, for example, you know, as I do, that you're not particularly good at the big picture, then doing something like baking will help you to focus on perhaps an area that you're not so good at, so focus on being better at detail, for example. Baking can also help you with mindfulness, and mindfulness is quite an important part of developing something like empathy, and being able to slow your mind down, slow your day down, and be able to reflect. And of course many people don't do that. We're all so busy all the time, but one of the 7 soft skills is empathy, and it's well proven that if you are able to become mindful, you're in a much better place to be able to listen well, to be able to understand more where other people are coming from, and that is one of the key skills.
That's great. So author of The Advantage, Emma Sue Prince. Thank you for joining us today. It's great to see you. See you next time. You're watching New Spirit TV. I'm Alexis Constantinou, and thank you to Brian Wood for filming this at the Tattershall Castle boat. See you next time.